I used to think that love would conquer all. When I married David, I believed we were indestructible. The warmth of his hand in mine, and the way he looked at me with those deep brown eyes made me acutely aware of how lucky I was to have found him. After the whirlwind romance, we tied the knot on a rainy Saturday in October, a day filled with promise and dreams of a perfect future. Little did I know then, the battles we would endure, the wars that would rage quietly behind closed doors, and the peace that always felt just out of reach. From the very beginning, I sensed something was off. The whispers in the corners of family gatherings, the way the laughter would diminish when I entered the room, it all painted a picture of a family that wasn't ready to accept me for who I was. I was different, a word often murmured, where different meant too loud, too opinionated, too independent for their liking. David's family was traditional, and I, a strong-willed woman with ambitions and dreams that extended beyond the small town where they resided, was like a storm they didn't know how to weather. I remember vividly my first encounter with them as David introduced me to his parents. His mother, Eleanor, offered a polite smile, her eyes betraying a sense of control she was keen to maintain. His father, Charles, was the silent type, an enigmatic figure whose disinterest in me was palpable. I had hoped for at least a shard of acceptance, but instead, I felt the weight of scrutinizing glares, like I was under a microscope in a very glassy, very fragile box. Over the years, family dinners became a battleground for my spirit, where every conversation echoed with the relentless sentiment that I didn't belong. I tried my best. I learned their rituals, participated in their traditions, but nothing seemed to bridge the chasm that existed between them and me. I would catch David's sister, Sarah, exchanging glances filled with disdain, little more than icy summer breezes cutting through the warm atmosphere, leaving chills in their wake. Maybe I should change, I suggested one evening as David and I sat on our worn-out couch, the comforting hum of our new home filling the air. It was a cozy place filled with photographs of our adventures, laughter echoing off the walls, but it was marred by the undercurrent of tension that followed me. Change. David raised an eyebrow. You're perfect the way you are, babe. This is who I fell in love with. His words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, yet the warmth grew cold when the reality of his family seeped into our lives again. A few months after that conversation, we were invited to a family gathering to celebrate Charles's retirement. I dressed carefully, an elegant blue dress and my favorite silver necklace, hoping to dazzle and charm, believing I could make them see me as I was, not an intruder, but a partner to their son. As the evening unfolded, the air filled with laughter and nostalgia. I sat beside David, my heart racing as I eased into conversations about the past, hoping to take part in the joy surrounding me. But it wasn't long before Sarah cornered me. "Do you really think he'll want to stay with you forever?" she asked, a smirk playing on her lips. Her voice dripped with disdain and an uncanny sense of superiority. I tried to smile through the discomfort that lodged in my throat like a stone. "Of course. Don't fool yourself. He deserves better." Her words sliced through the warmth that had enveloped me moments ago, leaving me vulnerable. I gave a half-hearted laugh, regaining my composure, but the encounter left an indelible mark. As the night progressed, I realized I was not welcome. I was an outsider, a graffiti on their family portrait. I sought refuge in the kitchen, the sound of water running seemingly drowning out the laughter that curled around me like a suffocating cloud. David followed, concern etched across his brow. "Why do you keep disappearing?" he asked softly, eyes searching mine. "Can't you see it, David? Your family doesn't want me here." "I'm just a reminder of the life they've always envisioned for you," I confessed, the air thick with unshed tears. He wrapped me in his arms, holding me close as if he could shield me from the storm with his mere presence. "That's not true. They'll come around. They just take time. Just keep being yourself." But with every retreat I made, every family gathering I attended, I felt more and more like a ghost haunting the family home. Conversations dwindled, and silences grew darker. It wasn't long before I faced the heart-wrenching thought I had managed to keep at bay for too long. My husband loved me, but did his family need to hate me for love to survive? One crisp autumn evening, I made the difficult decision to act. I approached David with a heavy heart, words tumbling from my lips like broken glass. Maybe I should step away. Maybe it's better for everyone if I just let you have your family without worrying about me. He looked at me, shock mingled with hurt flickering in his eyes. You can't just give up, Jess. We're a team. I nodded, but the burden of constant disapproval rested harshly upon my shoulders. But at what cost, David? You shouldn't have to choose. Days turned into weeks as I wrestled with my thoughts, the silence between us growing into an unbearable distance. The conflict carved deep into my being, each heartbeat pulsing with the question, is this life truly worth the struggle? As the world outside shifted to the vibrant hues of autumn, I ultimately made my choice. One chilly afternoon, I walked up to David, the golden sunlight streaming through the maple leaves. I'm here, I'll stay. But let's talk to your family about us. We need to be on the same page. His eyes widened, a flicker of hope igniting in his chest. Really? Yes. We can either live in tension or find a way to coexist. They need to know we're steadfast, together, now and always, I declared, swallowing fear and doubt. That night, under a starry sky, we drafted ideas for our conversation, preparing for the challenge ahead. It wouldn't be easy, but love, as I had finally realized, was not just about finding peace within ourselves. Sometimes it demanded we stand our ground and face the unsettling realities of family, loyalty, and acceptance. United, we walked toward the tumultuous tides of family expectations together, with the understanding that no matter what happened, we were stronger than their whispers. In the end, the silence that loomed so heavily above us was ready to be rewritten into an anthem of our choosing, one we would try to compose as a family, not just David and me, but the family that would hopefully learn to embrace a new beginning.